Attention.
If you stop this podcast recording at any time,
you will die.
I don't want to die.
Do you want to live?
You have 24 hours to share this podcast with 5 people or you will die.
I'm kidding, you won't die. You're just weak shit for not sharing.
And the winner of the best motherfucking podcast goes to...
Black with no cream.
What do you think?
It's so fucking dumb and so fucking Ben Haggerty.
I knew you would say that.
Check. And we are back with another Black with No Cream podcast. It is a Wednesday, so that means motherfucking morning roast. Today is not going to be a typical morning roast. I am here with my friend David Malave, a.k.a. Dave Malave on Instagram. What's up, bro?
What's up, man? Nothing.
This is not an interview. Actually, I'm going to interview Dave either tonight or tomorrow for the actual interview, which will drop Sunday. But Dave is a critical person behind the Black with No Cream brand, and we're working together pretty much on fucking everything that has to do with this whole little shindig that we got going on here. Black with No Cream podcast, aka the group, aka help other people learn how to be dope. But it's Wednesday, so that means that what we wanted to do was we're traveling. So we're somewhere, I can't tell you where, blah blah blah. But we were talking about like what we wanted to do today for today's episode, and we just wanted to use this time to kind of talk to you guys, to talk about the morning roast and explain our mindset behind it and to see if it's working for you. Is that a fair question for me to ask them, Dave?
Yes.
Cool. How's your day, dog? How you feeling? Talk to me for a second.
I'm following your lead on this one.
Yeah, because we didn't prep for this at all. I just told him to follow my lead.
We've been busy. We've been working. We had one ready, but I guess we're gonna save it, and we just want to talk about what we're doing. I think ever since we started doing these Wednesday episodes, like, I love them. I love writing them. I love working on them, and then like I listen to them too, and I know that like these little topics are like really important and kind of like, you know, can reinforce what you learn in the podcast, but also like touch on things that we don't always get to talk about. And,
right.
Like, you know, incorporate examples from things that, you know, we've experienced or you've experienced. And
yeah, I think that, okay, so if you haven't listened to Morning Roast yet, they come out on Wednesdays. Today should be a Morning Roast. It's not. Go back and listen. We put out how many? 4? 3? 4 morning roasts, 4 morning roasts. So yeah, we like before we've never had 2 episodes a week. It would just be 1 a week with me doing an interview, and then we decided to do this morning roast idea, which basically the description of a morning roast is a deep dive into like a specific question or something that we see commonly asked within the Black with No Cream community, or just a general topic that we feel like touching on. And the idea is to kind of like wake you up a little bit, try to motivate everyone, and try to provide a little bit of insight, some tips and ideas and tricks and things that you can include in your career path, and hopefully help you make some shortcuts. So Dave has been writing these like a motherfucking beast. We were doing this on the Facebook page.
Yeah, this idea originated
like fucking before Coachella. This was like
this idea originated like in January. So it's like almost a year ago now.
Yeah, a year ago we did it we'd post it. So
we wanted to create more content for the page, so we came up with the idea to do morning roasts where I would write 3 times a week in the Facebook page. We call them motherfucking Mondays, Wake Up Wednesdays, and Freshly Ground Fridays. So we write 3 posts a week, and they were just like motivational topics. I would just write like motivational posts, and we called them morning roasts because we post them in the morning, and the whole point is like to like something to like just get your mind going, get your like motivation going, like get you in the right mindset, get you thinking positively and like are thinking differently about things in the morning. And so when we started doing these deep dives, we didn't know what to call it, and I think that we figured out that that name works out perfect.
It's the same thing. I mean, you were literally writing these, and they were so in depth and so powerful, and I feel like we didn't have a blog on the Black with No Cream page. We tried to, and then we took it away just because we weren't able to handle it. We couldn't do the upkeep. Like it's hard to write. And so Dave was writing them and posting them as posts, and I think they were getting some attention, and people responded well, the people that did see it. But you know, when you share things within the community, it's like the private group on Facebook, it gets like kind of lost or buried behind content and shit, and a lot of people don't take the time to read. But people like to listen, like me. I don't fucking read books at all. I listen to fucking podcasts and I listen to audiobooks and things like that. So
yeah, and I think I really like it now because like in my mind, if you're listening to it like it's Thursday morning, or maybe you're listening to it last week's on next Monday or whatever, and you wake up and you're getting ready, or you're driving to work, or you're making breakfast, or you're doing whatever, and you turn this on, 25 minutes, real quick, something powerful, something. You just gets you thinking, gets you going, gets you excited, gets you motivated. Right. So that, you could listen to it with your morning coffee if you want.
That's right.
Black with no cream.
Yep, that's right. It's kind of the goal. That was the goal.
That is the goal. And I think what we want to do, what I love doing mostly is like, there's a lot of topics we want to talk about. And we'll every week we kind of sit down and figure out we try to figure out what that week we're inspired to talk about. But we also like to draw from, all these lessons that in previous podcasts that maybe people haven't really thought deep about, or maybe we didn't get to talk about it, or Ben or the guest didn't get to talk about it in depth during the interview, but we can really dive in and show you why that's some of these lessons in these podcasts that we have are
extremely fucking valuable.
Yeah, if you really apply them, if you look deeper than just what it says, you can actually really impact the way that your career is going and stuff. So
right, and I think it's cool because what we started doing was we'll reference old podcast episodes specific on the topic of the Wednesday. So a good example would be, what's a good example? What did we just do last
my week? Favorite is how to turn 1 gig into 3, probably.
Right. Who do we reference? JR
in that one.
Yeah.
So that one's just a really fire JR clip that I even wrote about before when we did the morning roast post on the page, but I just felt like it needed more, and it's something that I always internalize. I thought it was such a dope quote. He has so many in that, so go listen to that episode if you haven't. But we referenced it, and then we just expounded on it because it's there's so much to those powerful quotes, and sometimes these quotes you can have them in your back pocket and always be thinking about them when you're in certain moments in your career or whatever, or your grind, and that can keep you going or get you out of some spots or out of your down moments.
And I think it's okay. So yes, it's just listen to the fucking shit. Well, that's the whole goal. It's just listen to it.
By the way, guys, we had no plan when we came in to record this episode.
No, this is going to be a short episode. We're going to keep it sweet. We're going to talk a little bit, riff off the cuff. You feel me? Just an example of what we also started doing with, I think last week we encouraged everyone to write 3 takeaways, right? I challenged them to come up with 3 takeaways. And so I had actually a few people write a couple takeaways, which was dope. That means people are listening and taking the time to do this. And honestly, I think if you could write down from even an interview, I'll try to do it too. I'll take notes of certain things I hear or ideas and try to make mental notes of them, and just keep that by your side, because I think that should elevate the way you think and approach certain things. But here's a good one. I just have a screenshot and I just pulled it up. Eric Brolin, he put Black with No Cream with the 3 key steps to being a successful content creator. He wrote down weekly challenges, strip down lifestyle, and stay fucking disciplined. I think this was from this last weekend or last Wednesday's podcast. Mm-hmm. So just this dude's taken 3 different examples from what we talk about and just jotting them down as something to remain and try to add it to your day to day, right? That's the goal, is that you could start doing that shit and hold on to those mental notes. This person wrote down Kasir Cunningham, I think is how I say your name. His Black with No Cream takeaways. Number 1, discipline. Number 2, live within your means. Number 3, unnecessary purchases will kill me off. Number 4, if you don't listen to Black with No Cream, you're a weak shit, which I love because that's fucking from the intro of my podcast, which I die laughing at when I hear that shit. But anyway, people are taking, doing takeaways and shit like that. The idea of it's you go to school and you want to learn things like that. That's what we're trying to implement. I look at Black with No Cream as an educational platform. Obviously, we have some of the illest creators in the world fucking in this community and growing, and it's going to keep getting bigger as we expand. But I think that in each podcast interview and in these daily or the weekly morning roasts, there's so much that you can take away. So I think that it's important for you guys to tune into this shit. And actually, this is how we do it. This is the process. Me and Dave sit here and try to come up with what the topic is, and we kind of riff off some ideas, and we try to come up with 3 solid points. And then Dave literally goes and is insanely detailed with the way he writes this shit, and he'll stay up for fucking 9 hours drafting out this script almost, or whatever. Do we post that anywhere? not. Do we do it in the blog? Like
we should post it somewhere.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
But we just gotta like be better about how we
share it.
Keep track of everything.
Right.
We can talk about that after
this. So Dave writes the shit and then I read it, and it's been exhausting as fuck because while we're doing that, I'm also trying to get these interviews done. Dave lives in Texas, so he's in Texas and I'm in LA, and so he's trying to come up with these, and it's mentally exhausting to create these. I mean, he's literally making like a day course, like like what a professor would teach for the day, like a school, like easily the same thing. And so we write that shit out. I record it, which is I'm reading what he's writing, which is actually pretty difficult because I'm just trying to sound normal and not sound like I'm reading, but it's like very difficult. So I'm always like having to edit the fuck out of it, where I literally like say lines multiple times. Man, if you could hear the outtakes and shit, it's fuck, shit, I hate this, I hate Dave, fuck Dave. I'll say shit like that every Tuesday because that's what we've been doing lately. But anyway, it's been a process, so we're trying to perfect it and make it smoother and shit. But I think that overall they seem to be doing really well, and I'm getting a lot of cool feedback. I see it all the time. I sent you a couple screenshots the other day from certain people that were hitting me up like, man, I even almost love these more than the interview. They're so impactful, they're so powerful, blah blah blah, which is dope. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's fire. I think that what we want to keep doing them. We want to keep coming with. We're gonna, every week we're coming with new topics. Like we even draw from the group. I just screenshotted. I'll screenshot things that people post that I really like, and then I write them down, and we'll use them as topics in the future. Like someone just posted a really fire quote that I really fucked with that I wrote in the notes. Like we'll make an episode about that.
Right.
And just like we love to hear y'all's feedback on the episodes. Share it to, like, post stories of your notes, post stories of that you're listening to it. That shit fires us up for sure. Like we love that. And like Ben said, I think that even with the podcast interviews, if you can just listen and just when you have to write something down, like you have to think about it differently. You can listen to it, but when you write three things down, and make sure that you remember like what you learned. And it doesn't have to be the 3 points that we make, but like 3 things that stuck out with you when you're like, damn, that's dope. You write it down, you put it on a note somewhere on your desk.
Just keep it there, stare at it.
Yeah.
That's literally, I just did that with Scotty's Perspective Collective. I had him on the podcast or whatever. I did that and made it my home screen. It's like, don't lose sight of why you started. And I just look at that shit every day. I was like, fuck, that's dope.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like things like that. Like that shit just gets me jacked up every day. I've seen it a million times now. But it's important to keep those things in front of you and make them accessible too. Like, I don't know. So definitely do that. But I think, I guess, questions for the community would be that I'd have is, just how you feel about them, because I know a lot of people have been saying they like them, and I'm not just looking to get a pat on the back. I want to know if they're actually making an impact with you, because if they're not, then we're gonna stop, because that's a lot of time. So let us know. But also, I want to know if there's things that people think we could do better. Obviously, we're always looking to improve them. Right now, they're taking up a bit of time. Like they're not long episodes. Like I think our shortest one was like 11 minutes or something, 10 minutes. Do we do one like that?
Yeah, I think the first one was probably 11 minutes.
Yeah,
then they got longer as we got more hyped about it.
Yeah, so they're like between like 10, 25 minutes. We're trying to make them just quick, impactful. You can hear it real quick, bang, bang, bang. It's dope. Obviously, if these start to grow, we could consider doing more or something a week. I don't know, but it just takes a lot of time on us. We're trying to like stack up on some, so hopefully we can get ahead. So if we could record a couple episodes, then we're not scrambling to like get them done in time. Same with the interviews. Like I want to stack up when I get back to LA from where I'm at traveling. But when I do get home, I want to interview several people and start stacking it up. That'll help us just be able to stay on top of everything and not have to stress and rush things, because you can tell some of them are mad rush because I'm fucking recording them Wednesday afternoon and trying to get them done quickly so we can edit them and get them up online. Shout out to Nikos and Justin for helping us out, our interns who have been killing it. Editing.
Shout out to the boys.
Shout out to the boys. But yeah, I think that's a good question. Like, what would you like to see us improve on? What could we do different? What could we add into the mix of the shit that could make it a little bit, I don't know, relatable? Do you like hearing the references of episodes? We even just referenced Casey Neistat in the last one. So we're referencing things that aren't from the podcast or from Black with No Cream directly, which I think is cool. But, and And I think at the end, I'm trying to do more member highlights shit, which is new. And I don't know. What other questions would you have? If everyone's listening to this and we're get to ask them whatever we want, what do you want to ask?
I mean, I think that's it. I mean, like, we love to, like, I am constantly inspired by things that people, like, I'll read posts that people post in the group and be like, that's sick. And then it makes me think of a topic, like, yo, what if we talked about this? So, like, if you have any suggestions, don't feel free to DM Ben or me or post in the group. We're more than willing. Like, we want to make this something where it's like everyone feels involved, like excited on Wednesday to learn something new that maybe they hadn't known before.
Right. Cool.
Yeah, that's it. So I guess this is what we're.
This is probably a dumb episode. Everyone's probably like, fuck, why did I just listen to this shit? Hey, man. Cut some slack, man. That's it. Man, we got some fucking ill creators in here. Some fucking wild content creators in Black with No Cream. It's dope as shit. Let's wrap it up, man. Maybe we'll record your interview in a second or something. But cool. That's it. End of this podcast episode. I think let's end this by suggesting an episode that they should listen to. Do you have one in mind?
All right, you go first.
Shit. I would say I don't think a lot of people got to hear Hope for the Days podcast episode, which is cool because that guy got a nonprofit, suicide prevention nonprofit, and started it after his friend killed himself a long time ago. And since then, I guess he's had several people in his life kill himself. So he started this nonprofit to try to give people like a space to just reach out and talk to at any time. And it was actually really interesting. He uses music as like a catalyst of a way to distribute his message, which is cool, and gets a lot of people like Warped Tour and different organizations like that involved. So and he has a completely nonprofit coffee shop in New York, which Nikos, our intern, actually I think shoots with them every once in a while. So that's cool. But yeah, that's episode number 25. You should check that one out. Shout out to Hope for the Day.
All right, one that I've been pulling from lately is Scotty Russell's episode. I'm not sure what number it is.
Perspective Collective,
but this guy's like, we talk a lot of photo and video, but this guy's just a absolute beast designer and just like someone that's grinding on so many levels. He has his own podcast, has his own, does design, does his own branding stuff, has his own shop, and like his whole mindset about how he attacks being able to accomplish all those things at once. We mentioned it in our last Wednesday episode, but I recommend you listen to that. And
episode number 15.
And I say it all the time, but I'll say it again. My favorite 2 episodes of all time are J.R. Strickland and Andrew Sandler. If you haven't listened to those, go fucking do yourself a favor and listen to them.
Yeah.
They are like, I promise you have to listen to those 2. You'll be inspired as shit.
Episode 6 and episode 8. So cool.
Those are 3. Go back and listen to them, please. I promise they're gonna help you out.
All right.
That's it.
That's it, man. That's it. It's like I hate stopping. I guess I'll just stop right now. Yeah. You have anything else you want to say?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So, I'm going to interview Dave, so listen to this week's Sunday's episode. We're going to drop it on Sunday. See ya then, you bitch.